What is up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming back. 2018's here, and we're back with another podcast. TSP, the Saltiest Podcast, and we're glad to be back, man. How are you guys doing?
Woo! Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready, bro.
What's going on, guys?
Whoa. Hold on. Sorry about that. Anyway, technical difficulties. But yeah, we're happy to be back, man. I feel like it's been forever, guys. What do you guys think? It's been like 2 weeks, but it feels like forever.
It feels like a month.
Yeah, it does feel like
it's been a while. It's been a while, bro. Like real talk. I mean, I've just been sitting here. I had to itch all holidays, man. We had to do that random podcast. I've been like a crackhead, just itching out, man, ready to get this going.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really. Normally, my Sunday nights are here at TSP, but now I actually have to play video games with you guys just to fill that void. And
even worse.
We all know how that is, just constant loss after loss.
Awesome. Hey, I want to give a shout out to all these people in the chat real quick.
Yes,
Hopefully
sir.
I don't miss any of you guys. Dirty J, Stinking Corpse, the Welsh Gamer. What up, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Welsh is in
UK
the chat.
Daz,
Lunch Bizzle,
Vogel's Krieg. Sorry, bro. I butchered that.
Come on,
PSN down. Lunch Bizzle. Did I miss anybody? Iron Lords podcast. Welcome. 2018 is going to be amazing for gaming and for the Saltiest Podcast. And we're glad that you guys are along for the ride. What up, Jay Street? Thank you for being here. So I want to just let everybody know, earlier today I was on the Iron Lords podcast. It was one of the best podcasts, energy-wise, that I've been on. There's just moments when you're on some of these podcasts where you just click, and you have awesome convo. And there was a moment, we had that great convo and that great energy. So go check that out. It is an awesome podcast, and shout out to them. Thank you for everybody being here. So without further ado, let's get into the intros. So our special guest, he puts the special in special because he is one of the best in the community. He is an atheism and religion debater and he's a moderator for Robbie's Morning Mixer. He's all over the community. If you haven't seen him, he's on social media, on Twitter. Irrelevant Native, thank you for being here. What's up, brother?
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that intro. In fact, I appreciated it so much that I was like, who's he talking about? I thought he was talking about Punk for a minute. But no, man, it's good to finally be on TSP. I've been a long-time watcher and long-time supporter of the show. And the fact that you pegged me for the first episode of 2018 is pretty much a damn near honor. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome. I thank you for being here, bro. I know we tried to get you on earlier and we had some, the situation didn't allow, but I'm glad you're here because honestly, I think you're one of the most down-to-earth guys in the community. So that's why you're here.
Yep.
So thanks for being
Much
here.
appreciated.
Next up, Jago. What's up, buddy?
Man, we're ready. Just glad to be back, bro. It's been like it's been a month since we've done this. Ready to get into these topics.
Awesome. Next up, the man that puts Fury into Nick. What's up, Nick Fury?
Oh man, Fury into Nick. I don't know how to take that, but
sounded a little wrong.
Right. Doing good, man. Like I said, man, ready to go. It's been a minute. It's been like I said, we've been trying to do things to fill the void of the Saltiest Podcast, and but it's finally here. We're finally back, and I am excited, and I'm ready to start 2018 right. Let's get it going.
Awesome. All right. Last but certainly not least, we got Punk Kiddish Gaming. I just want to give a shout out to Punk. He is a new and permanent member on the TSP.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let everybody know who you are, bro, and what's going on in your life.
Oh man, what's not going on? No man, first of all, shout out to you, man. It means a lot to come out here and be on TSP. I've obviously been watching for a long time, supporting all you guys. So to be a permanent member on here and to get to talk to all you great guys every single night, that's awesome, dude. I think that's amazing. So again, shout out to you, and I appreciate that.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, the way that we want to treat this channel going forward is it's kind of like you're kicking back with some beers with your gaming friends and you're just shooting the shit, you know. That's how we treat this. I want the comment section to be just as fun and just as inviting as the main channel, as us talking. Yes. If I just wanted to let you guys know, I did implement a super chat into the chat. So if you want to get your questions answered, if you have something burning that you wanted to talk about, and I'm not talking about herpes, just something that you want to holler at your panel and we'll get at you. Okay. It's not something that I'm pushing. It's just something that's there. Right. Okay. So after we get that out of the way, how was your guys' holiday season and especially your New Year's? Did you game and what did you game? Let's start off with Native. What's going on, man?
All right. So as you all know, PUBG released. I don't even fucking remember when it released, but it released sometime last year, late last year. And man, I've been playing that game pretty much every day. If I'm not going in solo, then I'm running in with either Punk or Salty or just a combination of these guys here. Getting our chicken dinners and whatnot. And also having some very insane moments. I played through Wolfenstein 2. That's such a great game. Such a great game. What else? Gears 4 is my go-to game. If you're ever online, you don't know what to play, send me an invite. Send me a party invite, a game invite, whatever. Let's get it going on Gears. Always ready for that. That's pretty much it, man. Just been hanging out with the kids, hanging out with my wife. She's on this new kick now where she wants another baby. So,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm terrified, guys. I need to play more video games. So you guys need to be sending me those invites more often.
Keep you off the bed.
Join the club, man.
God.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been a good year. So happy New Year to everybody. And this is the last time I will say Happy New Year because I will not be in March telling people Happy New Year. It just won't happen. It's the first and last time you heard me say it.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna butt in here. Welcome, Jay Fonzarelli. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, I'm sorry for being late, man. I actually just woke up a few minutes ago.
It's all good, dude.
Oh, good, brother.
Doing that.
So,
week, so
could you let everybody know where they could find you, homie, and then we'll move on.
Of course, they can find me at J Fonzarelli, both on Twitter and here on YouTube, and of course, they can find us at Loot Chest Radio because that's really what I've been promoting a lot lately.
Loot Chest Radio.
So. Anyway,
Loot Chest Radio. Loot Chest Radio is something that you don't see a lot in this community. It's not like we're doing now. It's not a live situation. It's a pre-recorded thing. You can see it. You can find it on all the major, podcast resources and wherever you get your local podcast. So definitely hit that up. Oh, here we go. Super chat from the dude that's on the panel. I think that's a first.
Thanks, Native.
Trying to get brown points.
Nice. What a
Gotta
guess.
get it kicked off, man.
Thank you, buddy.
I don't think
that's
awesome, bro.
The Native's paying us to be here.
Damn it, I gotta take that back now. I forgot Jago was here, man.
Damn it. He charges more, actually.
I'm just
so that's awesome.
Expensive hoe.
So what else, Jago? What did you play during the holidays and stuff?
Oh, good
How was your
God. My holiday was good, man. It was good. Enjoying some time with the family, kids, whatever. My girl's kids, see my parents, good times. Gaming wise, good God, what have I been doing? Beat Marlow Briggs yesterday. That's actually a really good game for free, dude. Some Star Trek VR with Corpse, Mooch, Crap Gamer. Still ain't got on there with Supersonic Station. We'll make that happen though. Some Rec Room VR last night with Supersonic and Sting Corpse. Then Wolfenstein. I mean, just been all over the place, back and forth. I ain't turned my PlayStation on this much in months. So yeah, man, it's been gaming. A lot of gaming.
Awesome, dude. That's what we like to hear. Nick, what have you been playing, man? How was your holidays?
And my holidays was good, man. Just having a good 10 days off work was awesome. Chance to just relax, hang out with the family, refresh the batteries, and and get to play video games with the homies without having the stress of going to bed super early, which we never stay up super late, but just the no pressure there. And so I PUBG, of course, doing PUBG.
Oh, yeah.
I bought Assassin's Creed, started that, working on that, trying to finish Wolfenstein 1 so I can finish Wolfenstein 2 because I have that purchase as well. And still trying to finish some games on the Switch, Legend of Zelda. I'm almost done with that one. I'm just kind of just rolling around the plains there, just exploring everything I can before I actually go beat Ganon. And so just running through that. And that's pretty much it, man. Hanging out with the homies, still playing Madden. Madden League got a refresh, so getting ready to hit that hard again. So we'll see how that works out. You'll probably hear me in the chat or in the parties every once in a while raging like I always do with that game. So that's just what I got going, man. And the holidays was great.
Awesome. Last but not least, Punk, let's hear what you've been doing, and then we're going to get into these juicy topics. I mean, we got some good topics for tonight, so let's hear it.
No, man, I had a good holiday, man. Definitely a lot of family. Wife had some family in town, hung out with them. When they all saw a couple of my posts, playing some board games, went a little different. Instead electronically, went old school. So that's fun, man. I always enjoy some good board games. My brother-in-law is really big into that. As far as Xbox goes, man, Battlefield. We're back to some Battlefield. Me and Dirty J, Stinking Corpse, be going there, capturing some flags. It's actually pretty fun. I'm actually probably better than that than some other games. I don't know how. So I got that going for me. A little bit of Call of Duty, man. I fired up some Cuphead. I've had that game. I haven't really gotten into it. Be like the first couple bosses, getting pissed off, same old on that. But no, it's really a great game, though. It's really fun. Really enjoy myself. PUBG with you guys.
Yep.
That is some great conversations and some good laughs, really. Man, love it. Having a blast playing that with you guys. And recently, Need for Speed, man. I just tried out the trial. I didn't buy it. It's the same old Need for Speed. Nothing really changed. But it feels good just because I haven't played it in years. But I wouldn't go off the charts and say it's amazing or anything. But
awesome.
That's pretty much what I've been up to, man.
Yeah, it's good. Normally we won't, get into what we've been playing. It's kind of slow, but I just wanted to hear from you guys. I haven't heard from you. Well, I heard from you, but in the aspect of having a podcast space, I mean, I just wanted to, rehash and see how you guys have been doing, especially with the chat and stuff like that. It feels like I said, it feels like forever. I'm glad to be back on the saddle per se, and I'm glad to be here with you. So without further ado, let's get into the first topic. So this week, the first news, one of the first videos I did this week. It's funny because almost every topic we're doing, I did a video on. So shameless plug, go check those out on my channel.
Nice.
First topic of the night, Microsoft has officially killed everything that has to do with the Kinect. The the Kinect adapter is officially put out to pasture.
Whoop.
And I mean, it took long enough, right? I mean, let's get into this. Did it take too long for Microsoft to pull the plug on this situation? There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, Microsoft is, taking a crap on their fans, their loyal fans, because they didn't give them enough time period to buy the chat adapter. Because if you guys didn't hear, on like places like eBay, these adapters are going for like $300. So if you didn't hop on that train, you're not going to be putting your Kinect in your X. But needless to say, let's talk about it. Let's start off with Fonz. I'm sure. Let's get your thoughts on the situation.
Okay, so I'm good that they got rid of it because, as PSN Down says in the chat, it was a mistake. Okay, Now here's the thing: when they first announced this thing and they called it the Project Natal, and they showed all this kind of crazy stuff you could do with it, it sort of just turned into a device that people were using to snap this or do this or do that. And it just became a voice recognition machine. But ultimately, what it came down to it being a resource hog. Now, getting rid of it, it's made some of the games, better without it. So I just say get rid of that. It's about time they did. The thing was a mess. I know some people liked some of the features, using the voice recorder and all that stuff, but hey, you got Cortana now. Okay, so go ahead and use that if you want. But yeah, I just think that the whole thing was just a mess to begin with. It never panned out the way they promised, and I don't know. I'm glad it's gone.
Exactly. I feel the same way. I feel like it's kind of the end sentence in a book that we want to forget, right? It's the chapter of the fatty Xbox It was a bad chapter in the Xbox division's writing in their history. So, I mean, it's a good thing. So next up, Nick, how do you feel about this situation? Do you think that, what's going on, man?
Man, good. You know what I mean? Good that it's gone. I personally just bought whenever. I mean, when the Xbox One X first came out, I waited because I didn't want to connect. Honestly, I did not want to connect. I heard rumors that they were going to go ahead and release one without the Connect, and then long behold, what was it, like 8 months later, that I guess it was like around March or April, they went ahead and put out a version without the Connect, and so then I went ahead and copped it. So that's how it was for me. So I was never interested in the Connect. Whenever they first announced that it was gonna be $500 with the Connect, I was upset about that. That was one thing I did not want. I didn't want to have to buy a Connect with this thing. I wanted it to be optional, like it was for the 360. But they didn't do that. So they made it they almost made a requirement to buy the Connect outright. They didn't really have any support for it. It was just absolute garbage. I mean, I remember seeing the Star Wars game, you know what I mean? But that was about it. People doing the Han Solo dance. That was terrible. But like, I'm just glad it's gone, man. And it needed to be gone. And it represents, probably the worst of the Xbox One X at the beginning of its release. Like, the Kinect was kind of one of the things that everybody was complaining about and didn't want. And so now they got rid of it. It's kind of like, let the past die. It's over with, time to move forward. And I'm happy. Like I said, I never really wanted to Connect to begin with. So hearing this news, it's not like it makes me upset, but people who are upset saying they turn their back on their fans, like, how many people actually used the Connect other than saying Xbox on or Xbox record that? Nobody. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's gone. Let's just move forward. Awesome. Our special guest, Native, what do you think about this situation?
Well, I can't say anything more than what these guys have already said. I mean, from a business aspect, I can understand the need and the desire to keep it going for as long as they could, just to get anything that they can get out of it as far as financials go. So if they wanted to keep dishing out these things and keep charging for these extra peripherals, then by all means go for it and make your money. But as a consumer, it was a complete niche thing. I mean, I myself personally am just far too damn lazy to get up and fucking dance around the damn room.
Yeah.
With Dance Central or anything like that.
Dance Central.
I'm not gonna do it.
You're doing Zumba, bro. Don't lie.
It's just the dance, the Zumba. That's it. That was it. But yeah, no, I mean, it was something that I bought for the 360, the first version, and I mean, it was okay. It was cool. You bring over a girlfriend or a wife or whoever you were dating at the time, and it was just show them that and be like, oh, let's dance or something, just to whatever. But other than that, I didn't use it for anything else. I really didn't.
No.
Not even the voice commands. I mean, what they should have done, in my opinion, is enabled voice commands with just a headset first, and then introduced a peripheral saying, oh, this is our own special Connect or microphone or whatever it was, Connect in this case, and introduced it that way, pushed it out that way, not made it something that was a necessity and not made it something that came with the original Xbox One. And that's what pushed up the price initially. And it was just a mess. Donnie D really screwed that over.
Yeah, man. And, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It was a forced peripheral, and that in itself isn't going to make your fans happy, your consumers happy. It was forced and it raised the price $100. So it just wasn't good for the brand. Punk, what do you got to say about this situation?
Thank God. We're all thinking the same thing, man. Technology moves forward. A fan of anything electronic, everything moves forward. And when the iPhone changes the freaking charger, people spaz out. It's the same thing. Like, things phase out. It's just, you got to learn to deal with it. There's nothing else you can do. Let's move forward. I really don't have much to say on it because I'm just glad it's done.
That's fine. I mean, there's not much to say, right? It's just...
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, man, you got to move forward, man. That's what it's all about.
Let the past die. Jago. Yeah. Jago, what's up, bro?
from the time they took it out of the box, and we all remember when that was, like right after the Xbox launch. And I was just surprised it wasn't killed off longer, long ago. Man, but I mean, I don't hate the Kinects. I hate that they bundled it in there with the console. I mean, charge you an extra $100. I think it's a cool piece of tech. I mean, if anybody watched Ghost Adventures, they use a version of the first Kinect camera to actually, track or hunt ghosts. And I mean, it works pretty good for them. So it's a cool piece of tech, but I just hate that they force you to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But most people, I put it in chat a while ago, most people only used it for Xbox On and Xbox Record Day. I mean, that's the only thing I ever used it for. So, I mean, I'm glad it's just be done with it.
Yeah, man. There's not much more to say on this subject, right? I think it's a good thing for the brand moving forward. I personally have a Kinect. I bought it day one, the fatty version, and I had my Kinect plugged in for a good time, but I noticed that I just wasn't using it. So I finally just, unplugged it and it's in a box somewhere and I'm not missing it. If I feel like I need a camera, I'm just going to buy one. It'll be a lot more compact and you can buy a higher quality camera at this point. So it is what it is.
I think the best aspect of all this is the fact that we won't get any of these developers focusing on any of those lame ass Kinect games. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
exactly.
I mean, now they can focus on some real shit,
Yeah, and we were talking about the peripheral situation with Xbox when it came to VR. And the reason why I don't want them to focus on VR, which I don't think they are going to do that, is
niche.
It's not games. They need to focus on games.
And it's niche. It's niche at the end of the day. I mean, come on. VR is not accepted by everyone. It's not adopted by everyone right now. That is very niche. So,
because if you look at the PlayStation side, if you look at their conferences, they've pushed a lot of VR, and if Xbox was in that situation, like with the game situation right now as it stands for the console, they've been getting so much shit. You know what I'm saying, like from the media and stuff like that, because it does take up a good chunk of your time when you're promoting these games, and it's just not necessary. So anyway, that was the first topic of the night. The next topic is there was some games leaks, some exclusive leaks. And there was a guy on Reset Terra. His name is Cloberil. He is famous. Not too famous, but he did some leaks in 2016 that actually came true during E3. So that's why this news is kind of spread like wildfire. I just want to go over some of these things he talked about. And I want to talk about it, and we'll do a round table on it, and we'll get your opinions about it. So he was just talking about Albion. As we know, that's, what that is. Nick, you're a big fan of this franchise.
Yep.
It's rumored that a new Fable is going to be coming out, and it's going to be developed by a UK studio. And the rumor that is getting traction right now, that's almost confirmed. I'm not going to go to as far as that, but Playground Games could be working on this, or some other, developer. So I just want to, anybody can chime in. Let's talk about this. Nick, how do you feel about this rumor?
Oh man, you saw my comment in your video whenever you posted the video. Like Fable, that is what I want from Xbox. That is what I need from Xbox. Like I said in previous podcasts, near and dear to my heart. A lot of good memories playing Fable. I was really, really upset when Lionhead Studios was canned. And so if I would imagine if Lionhead Studios was canned, they're going to have some of those same people work on the game if they're going to. There's no way they could just let those people go. They got to bring back people with the original idea and stuff like that. So, man, I'm just looking forward to seeing. My hopes is it's not as linear as previous games have been. My hope would be that it's a little more explorative, I guess that's the word I can use. More exploring, not so linear, go here and there, and just make it kind of a more truer open world RPG. I even thought, maybe them making it an MMO would be awesome. That's just my aspirations, but I don't think they would do that. But that would be my aspirations. Just kind of make it bigger. If you're gonna bring it back, make sure it's huge and make sure that it would be a console seller for Xbox. And so those were just my hopes for it. You know, a bigger game, not as linear, more options to explore, and maybe, heck, let's just try to make it an MMO. That would be awesome. But, you know, until details come out, it's yet to be seen. But when I saw this news and you know, I saw your video, I literally like screamed out as loud as I could, Fable at work. I was like, Fable! I was like, yeah, you know, I literally yelled
like,
out.
who's this weirdo?
Yeah, who's this weird guy? Hype, so I'm ready.
Yeah, something about Fable just resonates with majority of the Xbox players that I know, because it was one of the first games to come out. I don't know if it was one of the first games to come out for the original Xbox, but it was definitely one of those for me that really solidified my love of RPGs at the time. And I have intense and significant memories with that game that have produced my love of, you know, that further produced my love for the Elder Scrolls series. And when I seen Fable 4, or I mean, if that's what they're going to go with, I just seen Fable. If that's what they decide to go with, then I'm all for it. I'm ready for it. Even Kingdoms of Amalur, even that one was a great one that I was looking forward to. Awesome. Yeah, dude. To me, that was the Dragon Age Fable baby. Dragon Age Fable baby, or Fable Skyrim baby that I wanted. Yeah. So if they can do something like that with Fable and using the Fable, you know, for the Fable lore, using the characters from there or anything, just in that world of Albion, I would be and will be incredibly happy. And you'll see me playing that more than anything else out there, because Fable just holds a special place in my heart, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So we have the two Fable nerds. What about you, Jay Fawns and
Fable nerds?
Punk or Jago? Do you guys? How do you feel about this?
I don't.
Yeah, not a Fable guy at all. I never got into it, man. But anything that's good for everybody else, I'm happy with. So
hey, you know, the silence speaks volumes. Trust me.
Anything that's good for Xbox, bro. Anything that's good for Xbox, man.
Don't get me wrong. The first Fable, I really dug. Even the second one was good. The third one, it wasn't.
Yeah,
good at all.
I'm with you on that one.
And
I'm not very amazing with finances, as far as tracking them and, you know, all that stuff in games. And Fable was Fable 3 was all about that. It's like, okay, do you want to make money or do you want to screw people over? And it's like, man. And it was too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Fable doesn't move the needle for me. I tried the first one on the OG Xbox a long time ago. I don't know how many hours into it. And back then you had to manually save. And I forgot to save. My power went out or something, and I was so far from the last, my last save. I was like, no way, I'm not putting any more time into this game. And
sounds more like a personal problem.
I understand why there's, you know, fans of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a good franchise, but man, I got Final Fantasy if I want to put 100 hours or 60 hours into a game. That's why I have such little time to game now. Yeah, I couldn't do Fable right now. No way. No way.
True. I mean, I'm looking at it from like, if I was not a fan of Fable and I heard this news, I mean, it would still be good news at this point, because like I said, like what's everybody's complaining about Xbox right now? They're lacking in exclusives, and in this news that they have things in works and they're bringing back Fable. That I think, like I said, that would be a big hitter for a lot of people.
Yeah,
that are kind of on the fence about getting an Xbox. I know plenty of friends that have PlayStations who love Fable that might end up getting an Xbox, you know, to play Fable. So I know that it's good news that they're working on this, because there could be a lot of people on the fence thinking about getting an Xbox. Now they'll finally purchase one and play the game. You know, they just need to get more games like that. I mean, it's good news either way.
Good to have options, man. Agreed. That's what we need.
Agreed.
I think it's a genre that Xbox used to be very strong in the beginning with the original Xbox, with these RPG.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And it's something that they're lacking right now, you know?
Yeah.
So even though I'm not a big fan of it, I think that they have room for a huge success, because they have a lack of RPGs, like I said, and they can improve upon the things that were wrong or that people didn't like. They can, you know, improve the situation with these new engines and the power of the X. I just think the sky is the limit for this. And I think this, out of any of these rumors, is the one that's the most possible of happening. I've heard so many things and so many rumors on this that I'm almost positive that this is going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can DM me and tell me I'm wrong and I'm an idiot or whatever, but I think this is going to happen. I think it's going to be good for Xbox.
Yeah. The other one,
it has to happen, dude.
The other one, I think,
if you're gonna DM Salty and say it's not gonna happen, you might as well include me in that as well, because I need to know why you think not.
We'll all eat crow together. What were you saying, Fox?
Yeah. I was gonna say the other one I think that's gonna happen for sure is a new Mech Assault. I think that's gonna come back because that's been talked about for years. Like people have been asking for a new one. I myself, out of this whole list, I'm most excited for that. And not because it's such a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, but it holds a nostalgia factor for me. Like I remember playing that game early on live and stuff back in the day, and it was just fun to play with friends. And it's one of those games I could see really succeeding on the Xbox if they bring it back. So I just think it could be a lot of fun if they update this game and you know, just make it fresh again. And I think it's going to come back.
Awesome.
Look. Let me just say one more thing, because you said you mentioned Salt. You know, when the first Xbox ever came out, it's, you know, it seemed like at the beginning they were really innovative with RPG games and really good ideas. You know, you had Morrowind, you had Knights of the Old Republic, you had the Jade Empire, and then even into 2007 they had Mass Effect exclusively before EA bought BioWare, and we're not going to talk about that, but. Before EA bought BioWare, they had Mass Effect exclusively. So Xbox is always kind of, for a while there, they were almost innovative in the leader in that RPG aspect. A lot of Western RPGs were on the Xbox, and Sony had a lot of JRPGs. But as far as the Western RPG aspect, you know, they had a lot of those. And then, you know,
you can't totally omit the fact that they were going to up the ante with their own game they were making, True Fantasy Online, at the time.
Right.
That game I was excited for, and then they got rid of it, and I was bummed, man.
Right. Yeah. And so, like, if you want to, if it's good news, because if this rumor is true and they're looking at Fable, Perfect Dark, and a lot of games like that, it's almost like they're trying to go back to the roots, but improve on it vastly. And, you know, that's been the biggest complaint from everybody. I mean, if everybody about Xbox, they turned their back, they lost their way. And so if this is true that they're going back this way, it's nothing but good news. You know, as an Xbox fan, it's nothing but good news. As someone who's not an Xbox fan, it's still good news, because it'll create more competition, better games for everybody, and it'll just be good in the long run. So everybody just pray and hope it's true. And if you think, oh, it can't be true, then you should probably, you know, get a grip. You should want this to be true.
Exactly.
What makes it bad is that's a genre of video games that's almost completely disappeared from the Xbox brand.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people have more gravitated towards the PS4, because they have so many. There is role playing game RPGs out there. People they love that type of game, and there hardly is any. The only one I can tell you I've played is Final Fantasy. What was it, 15 last year before?
Yeah, I mean, 15. That's the one I played.
I love Final Fantasy series, dude.
Yeah, I think it just it rounds out the games that they have, so I think it will be a good thing. But another rumor that came out was the fact that they might bring back the Perfect Dark series. And when I was on the Iron Lords podcast, I went in on this game, and they thought that this series did something bad to me, like it kicked my dog or something, because I was extremely salty on it. I was like, I don't know, man. I played this game, and it was kind of it felt like a 007 ripoff to me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Rare makes it, and Rare's making Sea of Thieves. I was saying to the fellas there, who's been asking and clamoring for this series?
I don't know.
Right.
One thing for me is just that the Perfect Dark franchise just is not a memorable franchise. The name just resonates because it was a Rare game, and at the time with the Nintendo 64, Rare made pretty much damn near everything. almost every game you own for the 64 was a rare game, and Perfect Dark was one of those.
Perfect Dark was hella fun, dude, on the 64 when I played it. I never played the one on Xbox. I kind of ignored it, but I mean, it's more of a nostalgia thing, I guess. If you hear the name Perfect Dark, you start to think, back to the better days, and maybe if you were really a big fan of that, like I think there's like a real niche group that are really big fans of Perfect Dark.
Can I interject for a quick second?
Yeah,
nostalgia does not mean that what's coming in the future could be good.
Exactly.
I think that's a big misconception, is that anything nostalgic or that brings back that feeling of nostalgia, points to something positive. Well, I mean, you can look at a list of games that have come out in the past that bent on that nostalgia factor, like that Conquer Live and Reloaded game for the Xbox. That game did not hold up its own against the 64 version. So nostalgia isn't a factor for me. I mean, it's there, granted, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well,
as far as what
that is why I put it in there when I mentioned MechAssault, that if they make it fresh again and they make some changes to it, it could be definitely a fun game to play online with friends. But yeah, you're definitely right, Native. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hold on. I personally, what I want is I want to see new games, dude. I understand that we have all these things, these old games that potentially could be really good if we bring them back and resurrect them. But, on the PlayStation, you see an example of taking a risk on a completely new IP, and there's lots of them. Like Horizon Zero Dawn, it was up for Game of the Year. I know some people don't like it, but a lot of people do. That was a risk. Okay,
it was a good game. It was a good game.
And Guerrilla Games, what did they make? Killzone before that.
Yeah.
So they took a risk on a new IP, and it's a hit, right? And that's a game.
It's arguably one of the prettiest games of this generation too. I'll give that to Sony.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
agreed.
When you make a new game like that, a new IP, it's fresh. It's not been done before. So you can make, other games from that. You can make sequels. You can make, it's not going to be dead as fast. But when you pull some of these older franchises out, I feel people, even though there's the nostalgia factor, I still think it has a risk of getting old quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's just my take there.
Punk, look at Mass Effect. Wasn't Mass Effect 3? It was supposed to be the last one, correct?
Correct.
People they want it. People just were like, no, we don't want it to die. We don't want it to die. Then they bring out Mass Effect Andromeda, and they get shit canned, dude.
You say it needs to die. It needs to die.
Yeah. I mean, that's my.
Know what happened there.
I mean, it may be a good game, but I mean, even fans of Mass Effect were like trashing Andromeda. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So,
well, to piggyback on what Salt said about they need new games. Well, I mean, they did try to put out new games with the release of the X, and I mean, they didn't do as well as they hoped. I don't know if maybe that got Xbox kind of a little on edge, or maybe I remember Salt, you said something about maybe they're in the deal right now of just kind of maybe being really reserved until they know that they have something. But I mean, we did talk about Sunset Overdrive 2 that they wanted to make, and Xbox didn't really pull the trigger on it. We talked about that in one podcast. And Xbox, they had some exclusives come out, Rise, Quantum Break that you love, Jago, but it didn't get very much support. So I mean, we had some games there, and it didn't really get a whole lot of support. So I wonder if Xbox is kind of really going back to these old titles to kind of spark everybody's interest again. That maybe that could be something. But like I said, I do agree with Salt that some new ideas would be great, and that's yet to be seen. But we'll have to see.
And Nick, kind of piggyback off what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead, Punk. You haven't. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. No,
okay. Someone go. Please.
I just think that when you talk about Microsoft, they're looking for a sure thing. That's why they might be going back to some of these franchises that were popular back in the day. So that's all I had to say. Punk,
I was pretty much just gonna say, like Nick was saying, like it just feels like they're striking out. I mean, Sunset Overdrive, like for me, didn't grab me. Rise was cool, but I played it later, a lot later, like probably just last year. But maybe they just, I think with what you guys are saying, they're just striking out, man, and maybe they're just afraid to take chances.
Well,
and hopefully that whole wallet being open, hopefully
you gotta think of it.
Gets that wallet. We're good.
Fonz, what's up?
I was going to say you got to look at it like this. It's not that easy just to pull something out of your ass. When it comes to these games, something brand new and fresh. It's just like the movie industry. You see them recycle the same movies over and over.
Yep.
I mean, look at Overboard. I mean, Christ, who wanted to see a remake of that god awful movie? But it's coming out. It's the same thing with video games. I think that right now. It's not that easy just to come up with something, and Microsoft is going to their bag of tricks here if this is indeed true. And you know what? It's a good start. That's what Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade podcast had said on Loot Chest the other night, that it was the right step. It was a great step forward for Microsoft if this does come to fruition. I really think that these games can stir some spark in Xbox, but you're right, Nate, they have to come with something new eventually. They have to show us something, especially by E3. I don't care if this game is 4 fucking years off. You better show it. I want to see some AAA banger that they're going to come out with. I don't want to see Sea of Thieves. I don't want to see Crackdown 3. I don't want to see these games.
No.
Show me something new, damn it.
It's true. So, and
I think they got gun shy. Like, they had Sunset Overdrive, they had Quantum Break, they were trying to do new IPs, and the people just didn't support them. So now I think they're trying to go back to known franchises that were popular, because it makes them feel like maybe it's a safe place to go, and people might actually pick these games up. Because I like Sunset Overdrive, I enjoyed it, but is it groundbreaking? No. You know what I'm saying? Quantum Break, I thought that was a fantastic game, but those 2 games alone, a lot of they didn't sell well. So I think Microsoft is a little gun shy. But you're right, they do have to bring some new IPs.
I hear that a lot from several of you guys tonight, talking about how they're gun shy, or they want a sure thing. And you're exactly right. Microsoft is not in the business to take big risks anymore.
No.
That's what it looks like. That's what their track record has been this generation. And guys, that's why they're fucking losing too.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
That is why they're losing. They're not taking
scared money. Don't
risks.
make money, bro.
They made big risks back in the day with the original Xbox. Don't tell me they didn't. Going into the 360, they made big risks, and then towards the end of the life cycle, they got complacent with the 360. And then what happened coming into this generation? They got cocky, and Donnie D fucked it all up, and the rest is history.
No, I have to agree with you, Fonz. But there is one thing that I want to say as well, and that's with the 360, huge strides weren't made as far as brand new IPs and everything like that are still lasting till this day. I mean, besides, of course, everybody knows the Mass Effect. But I gotta say, I gotta disagree on some aspects there. The Xbox 360 was riddled with exclusivity as far as timed exclusivity with multiplats. And that's what really pushed that. Deals, exclusivity deals with Call of Duty and with other games of that nature, where they got the DLC first and everything like that. I think that's what really pushed the Xbox 360 as far as that goes. But as far as pushing the boundaries of new IPs, I can't think of anything besides Mass Effect that really did that.
Well, you know what? Enrique said it perfectly in chat there. He says that they're making money, and that's the bottom line. As long as they're making money, it doesn't matter to them. And that's been their sort of attitude this generation. And I want to see them take risks, damn it. As a gamer,
I agree.
It's true. Me too. And it's hard to see the other side of the coin. It's good for gaming, but Sony's knocking it out of the park with these original IPs. And Fonz, what you were saying is it's tough to do it, but they allow the creativity. They allow people to fail. It's not necessarily going to be a hit the first time. The second iteration of the game, the sequel, is usually the game that hits off. Just look at Halo 2 for an example. Like Halo 1 was good, but Halo 2,
Halo 2 perfected it.
Look at Gears.
So, Gears. Like you look at the second game,
Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2. Yeah. So if you're Microsoft, you can't pull the plug on these games.
Yeah.
Before they get a chance to shine. Right.
You're right.
That's the problem.
Can I throw a wish out there? And Jay and Fonz, I know you will agree with me on this. Can we please get a Legacy of Kain Defiance 2?
Oh,
that's the only rumor I want to hear.
100%.
That's the only thing I want to hear, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm with
you.
You
got Fonz's heartstrings run with that one.
Here's the thing. You take a game like Sunset Overdrive, which a lot of people liked, and some people didn't, but it wasn't really sold well, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. You take a game like that, and Microsoft essentially saying no to a second one because it didn't sell well. Now, you take a game like Hellblade that didn't sell well at all either, but I guarantee you Sony would let them make a second one and put it on their platform. That is the difference here. And that is something that I think really needs to be worked on with Microsoft. And
you look at NAC, and they made NAC too.
Oh God, Jacob, right.
There you go.
Oh my
it's
God.
True. One thing I will say in Microsoft's defense, as far as taking risks, is that they are taking risks in a different aspect with the indie developers. I mean, they have ID at Xbox games. They've allowed the Creative Club feature to go up where people can throw out their games. And Microsoft is not afraid to throw big money at an indie game to make it something branded Microsoft. I mean, they did it with Minecraft, and then they just helped spread that thing to every. Yeah, exactly. Cuphead. They are not afraid to throw money at indie developers. They're not afraid to throw money at something that they know could be big. So I think they are taking risks, just not in that realm of AAA titles like we expect, especially with the multi-plat. The multi-plat realm being so rich right now. Like there's just so much. There's just so much out there. Battlefront 2, you have EA making big games, you have Ubisoft making big games, you've got Guerrilla Games making all these crazy games too, and they're not exactly multi-plats, but you don't know where they could go. Just the thing, they're making strides, they're taking risks, just in a different aspect.
I think I think we ventured off the main topic on these games.
We did.
But
so anyway, I'm just gonna quick fire some of the other things that happened. So he talked about Crackdown 3, the fact that there might be a 4-player co-op. Let's just be honest. Hopefully that game doesn't get canceled, right?
Yes,
I hope not.
I think it will.
Ouch. Anybody else excited for Crackdown, or I don't know?
I'm not excited for it, but man, I agree with you, dude. It may not. It doesn't.
If the multiplayer works like it's supposed to and has total like 100% destructible environment, that's going to be a game changer. Whether that's going to actually happen or not, I doubt it.
Chances of that happening, Jago?
Very low.
I don't know, but here's the thing. When you look at what we've seen already of Crackdown 3, okay, and all the shows they've showed the campaign on, anyway. How could you look at that and say you're excited for that fucking game? If you're telling me after seeing that you're excited, I think you're either lying or just drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that game does not look like anything above Crackdown, 1.5. The gameplay looks essentially the same. Everything about it looks essentially the same. I mean, the graphics are a little more improved and stuff, yes, but at the end of the day, it's still Crackdown. Now, the stuff they showed with the multiplayer in the alpha demo, that looks amazing.
That's the only reason I'm excited for it.
This game is either going to be canceled, or like PSN Down said in the chat, it's going to be heavily gimped in the multiplayer aspect, and everything is not going to be destructible. I'm sorry. I don't see that happening.
The thing is I think that they're screwed either way. I think that they can't cancel this game because they canceled so many other things, So they canceled, Scalebound, which we won't go over. But I think Microsoft's in the situation where they spent so much money and they've gotten so much flack about not getting games out and delaying them that they're going to be forced to get this game out.
Well, it's their fault. Sorry for hyping the game for what feels like 10 years now. So they're going to look really stupid if they cancel it after how many delays? I mean, really? Come on.
Well, here's a true story. I talked to Phil Spencer personally one night, on Xbox, 2 weeks before they canceled Crackdown. And I asked him this question. I said, what game are you most excited for this year? And this was last year, mind you. And he said, Crackdown 3. And then they canceled it 2 weeks after he told me that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Did he not know at that time that it was going to be canceled? I don't know what's going on over there.
He knows.
I mean, it's I don't know. They know the insides and outs.
Yeah.
What I heard from some other people is that I think the campaign was finished and the multiplayer.
Yeah.
They're thinking about getting like shipping it out in 2 waves or whatever, shipping the campaign out first and then having the multiplayer come out later. But they figured out that would not be received well at all, and they decided just to delay it. But like I said, it doesn't matter if you have 4 player or 1 player. Get this game out if it's good. I mean, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna come out either way. And I just have I don't know. I don't have high hopes on it.
My expectations are low, bro. Expectations are low.
PSN down. I'm not talking crap about Phil. Not at all. And in fact, I will go on record as saying I've always liked Phil, and I liked him even better talking to him that night. He's such a good guy. Like, he will talk to you about all gaming and stuff, and he's got a wealth of knowledge, and we had a great time. Being an older gamer myself, we had a lot in common and stuff. It was really fun. So
yeah,
let's be honest. Yeah, the graphics don't look they're not winning any awards from the Crackdown 3 graphics.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
it looks like Agents of Mayhem. And let's be honest.
Yeah, I just think that Crackdown 3 is one of those things that we'll see if it actually gets canceled or not. But the next item that was in this list was the Forza rumor that it's going to be set in Japan. We can quickly go over this. It's this topic's been extending out, but are you guys excited for? Everybody I ask about Forza aren't really Forza fans. Okay, so it's hard to gauge because it's like Microsoft has this really good brand in Forza, but it's hard. I'm hard pressed to find a really hardcore Forza player out there. But would it turn the meter for you if it's set in Japan? Let's talk about it real quick.
Why does it matter?
No.
That's my question. Why does it matter where it's at?
Why does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, it's Tokyo Drift, bro. You know what you're getting with the game, you know?
Yeah.
It's cool. They'll be exploring a different realm of cars and vehicles and I guess location, but it's a driving game. I mean, you can slap any model car in there. It doesn't really matter.
I just think the backdrop would be cool because I was a big Tokyo Drift fan, and I just think the backdrop. I mean, that's the only thing I think is pretty cool about it is where it's going to be set. I mean, it's a driving game. What else can you say about it?
Yeah,
I mean, you talk to a true racer. He could, give you more.
Get him in on the subject.
Yeah, I'm not a big racer fan, but I did buy Forza Horizon 3 because of the Hot Wheels DLC.
Yes.
So
that was fire, by the way. I really liked the Hot Wheels DLC. With the
I was just going to ask you what your guys' opinion on that was. Not that we can get into it, but
it was good.
Quickly.
It was something that drew me as a casual racing fan into buying the game, so it did its job. But when it comes to Forza, the next game's coming out, I don't know how they're going to draw people in. Like they did with that expansion or DLC or whatever it was.
What I meant by why does it matter is think about it. It could be in Australia, it could be in America, it could be in any country, and you're still going to have fun with it if it's Horizon. You can drive anywhere. Basically, it's like a car RPG almost. It's like you can do anything in there. And
I think that the Tokyo scene, like, it's just a really cool backdrop with all the lights and stuff at night.
That's what I was meaning.
You just have some of like the Fast and Furious movies that took place. Did it take place in Japan? I can't. One of them did.
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift. But it just has a lot of opportunities because that it's just aesthetically. It just with HDR and they're good at making their games and in the world design. I think you could go from the city elements of Tokyo and then out to the country. I just think it's something that would be good for that franchise, but we shall see. So anyway, that's going to do it for the list of possible rumors. It's something that obviously is a juicy topic for Xbox fans because we're chomping at the bit for new games, right?
Yeah,
I saw on social media where some people were clowning. They're like, "Oh, all these Xbox people are getting excited about rumors." It's like, well, yeah. I mean, all the games that were supposed to be coming out in 2017.
We have no games, bro. We gotta get excited. Finally, get some games.
I don't want to hear anybody try to
play the part.
Excited over rumors. In the Nintendo community, everybody's getting excited over the rumor of Metroid Prime. So I don't want to hear anybody just bash people getting excited over rumors. Rumors are rumors, and rumors are fun, and it gets you excited. And it makes everybody anticipate what's going to happen. Just don't get your hopes up in those rumors. You
gotta take that with a grain of salt. Man.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Exactly. But it's exciting to know what's possibly could be out there for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everybody just chill on that.
Yeah. But if I hear any rumor on Legacy of Kain and it doesn't come to light, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I am right there with you, man.
Wow. Oh god.
So moving on to the next topic, lots of rumors out. According to YouTuber Dreamcast Guy, the next Xbox console is currently slated for release in 2019. Dreamcast Guy reportedly has a source within Microsoft. I talked about this in one of my videos. So this is going to be an interesting topic. It's sure to be something that will draw a lot of conversation. But what I want to ask you guys, all right, so the Xbox One X just came out in November, right? It's a mid-gen refresh. It's something that hasn't really happened before. This rumor, okay, it's two-pronged, this question. So do we think that this date is going to happen? Is it too soon, or is it too, whatever? And then I want to talk about PlayStation 5. When do you think they're going to be coming out? And is it going to be like a wait and see approach for them, or they're going to, let's talk about it. Let's start off with Fonz.
Oh, okay. Well, Dreamcast Guy, yeah, he seems like a good guy. I've seen a few of his videos in the past. Good enough guy. But if I said this on Loot Chest, but if I can have a penny every time I hear these guys who do news on games say they have a source and they tell us, I would be a rich man. I mean, seriously, like all these guys. Look, I'm not saying Dreamcast Guy doesn't have a source within Microsoft, but come on now. I mean, like 2019, I personally think that that's not going to happen. I know some of the guys on Loot Chest said that it was very possible, but I doubt it. And here's why. Because in 2019, I think that that is the earliest, and this is late 2019. I think that we may see a PS5 drop or just an announcement on the PS5. And then early 2020, for sure, we will see a PS5. Now, I've said this before. Microsoft has put themselves in a position of power. They hold the power now. That narrative is strictly theirs because as soon as that PS5 drops, within a year's time, that Xbox 2 will drop and it'll be more powerful. And guess what? Cheaper. Why? Because the parts and everything will be cheaper by then. You wait a year's time and everything gets cheaper to make. So I think they put themselves in a good position when it comes to power, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So it will not be dropping in 2019 for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe I tend to lean the same way I said it in my video. But Nick, what do you think, man? Like 2019, is that too soon? What's going on, man?
Man, I don't think. If the next Xbox comes out in 2019, I asked that question. What was the point of the Xbox One X? Really, honestly, but I think maybe where Dreamcast Guy got a source was, I think maybe that's where they hoped the soonest it would be able to come out would be 2019, and I expect it maybe a year or maybe a year and a half, delay on that. Honestly, because like I said, 2019 that just seems way too soon after the release of the Xbox One X. As far as the PS5, now I was watching some videos now that people were seeming that was possibly a real big possibility for the PS5 was in 2009. But just the Xbox 2, like the next one, I don't know, man. That just seems too soon. You know what I mean? Especially after you put out the most powerful console in the world and you're really trying to drive that and get sales on that. I don't see why the next thing would come out a year later. But, what do I know?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. Native, what's going on, man? What do you think?
Well, for me, man, and I'm just going to throw this out here right now, conspiracy theory time. I really do believe that Microsoft and Sony have come up with this whole mid-gen market thing just to continue to kind of one-up each other in a way where it's like, okay, you can take this year. All right, you could take these next 2 years. All right, this console is going to be strong, slightly stronger than this one, and then our next console will be slightly stronger than that one. I don't think we're going to see an Xbox 2 or whatever the hell they're going to call it in 2019. That's just it. I'm sorry. If you believe it, you're an idiot. Sorry, not sorry. But I mean, it's just not, it does not make sense from a business point of view. It wouldn't make sense to release something, market it the way that you did. It's a beast. It's the strongest console alive right now, and then come out a year later and say, "Oh, look it, we did it again." No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think the PS5 will come out probably 2020. I'm not sure if that's early or late. Usually it's going to be, third, fourth quarter. But as far as an Xbox One 2 or whatever the heck they're going to call it, man, we'll just let it ride, dude. Xbox One X has a long way to go before it's obsolete. I mean, as far as the PC realm goes, it already is obsolete in some aspects, but nah, it's not coming out.
Yeah. So you don't think that Xbox is going to try to stay ahead of PlayStation? I mean, with the power narrative, because I don't know. It seems pretty interesting that they were behind and they decided to make a mid-gen refresh so strong because they felt.
Remember
I think,
what Phil Spencer said too. Phil Spencer did say that they will no longer be behind in power from here on out. When they made the X. So I think they're going to keep to that. And I think they did put themselves in that place. I mean, think about it. It really makes sense that they will launch the Xbox 2. I don't think it's going to be called the Xbox 2. That's one thing the Dreamcast guy said. And I think that's
Oh my God, dude. That title, right? That name alone is terrible. Hideous.
It's dumb.
Yeah. No offense to Randall Thor out there and his Xbox 2 podcast.
Oh my God,
but yeah.
Damn, bro.
But for the console itself, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, they just put themselves in that position where when as soon as that PS5 drops, they're announcing that next Xbox for sure, guys. They're going to come out with something that's going to be much more powerful right after.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was touching on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
I was getting ready to say that, like, yeah, they put it out now, and then PlayStation will put theirs out. It gives them a chance to see what PlayStation's doing, or it gives them a chance to come out with an Xbox next that's going to be more powerful, and it can still hang on that power narrative. I was getting ready to say that exact same thing. So, I mean, I don't see them coming out with a console before PlayStation. But I see them either coming out at the same time or waiting, a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the point that I was alluding to, where I was saying there's this kind of conspiracy theory where they're just kind of one-upping each other and knowingly doing so. I mean, one of them's going to wait until the next. And that's exactly what's going to happen. We're already hearing rumors of a PS5 in 2020. It's not coming out 2019. The Xbox One XXS, whatever they're going to call it, isn't going to come out 2019. They're going to wait. They're going to bait, and then they're going to release something stronger than the PS5.
It's just the way businesses go, Native. They want to one up each other. I talked with Diller, and we talked about the fact that frame rate is, I don't know, lots of people don't understand how important frame rate is. Just get an X and play it in performance mode on The Witcher or any of these other games that have performance mode in 60 frames a second, where the game wasn't in 60 frames before, and it runs like butter. I can't begin to explain how important frame rate is for a video game. So the next big push, in my opinion, is going to be a frame rate, and that's CPU.
That's CPU
when it comes to it. And the next
let's be honest,
Ryzen,
if they come out in 2019 and it's affordable, because they got to sell the console, how much more powerful will it be than the X? There's no way it's going to.
That's exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
go ahead.
The thing, and I think that's why. I still think it's very possible for the PS5 to drop in late 2019, only because it's the 25th anniversary in Japan for them.
Yep.
And here in the States in 2020, it'll be the 25th year anniversary. So by 2020, that PS5 will be here for sure. I'm without a doubt on that.
Yeah.
So I think by 2021, we will get the next Xbox. But here's my thing. Just like Nate said, those next consoles better have a better CPU in them, because I want my games at 60 frames. I want games to utilize that power for frame rates and better performance, damn it. Because right now they struggle sometimes at 30 frames with this 4K bullshit. I didn't like this 4K narrative anyway to begin with, but it's here. It's the new buzzword.
Even the X is still CPU bottleneck.
I mean, yeah, because it's a Jaguar. It's a modified Jaguar.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. The thing is, the reason why this happened in the console space is because of resolution gate. People were focused and fascinated on resolution to the point where it was pushed so far into the consumer's faces that they're like, resolution. It's like you guys don't even know for the most part what resolution is, but you need to have 4K, and a lot of people don't have 4K televisions right now.
That's why Microsoft went with the 4K narrative, because they heard it every day. Digital Foundry was, wiping the Xbox, just kicking Xbox's butt. And so that's why they went that way, because resolution was so important to everybody. And most people have no clue, can't tell 1080p from 1800p. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So the narrative was pushed to the point where, Microsoft's like, we're going to push this 4K console out. It's going to be called, we're going to be pushing that narrative. But then, it has to come down to the price of the parts, because R&D of these consoles has to happen and the price has to be right. If the Ryzen CPU doesn't drop in price in a soon enough time. All right, so let's say PlayStation pushes the PS5 out in 2019, regardless of what happens with, the Ryzen. Either A, it's going to be a super expensive console, which Microsoft got blasted for when they came out with a $500 console. Let's just say the PS5's $600 because you have to get that Ryzen chip in there, and you're trying to hit 60 frames. Then they get screwed there. If they don't have the frame rate situation locked, then Xbox can drop a console 6 months later or a year later has 60 frames per second on almost every game, and then they're screwed that way, right? Because it's a big thing, because if PlayStation jumps the gun on this next gen console, they're going to be in the situation that Xbox was in with resolution gate. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that it's important when you pick your dates. It's just kind of what would you say, Jay?
No, I just wanted to get back real quick to the whole, that CPU and 60 frames thing. Here's a fun little fact. Back in the 6th generation with the PS2 and stuff, a lot of the games back then were in 60 frames. And somehow we just went away from that. And I don't know what it was exactly, but I don't know. We got caught up in resolution and pretty graphics and all that stuff. But I mean, weren't we always into pretty graphics and stuff even back then? Yeah. And still the developers were focusing on 60 frames back then in performance. And now it seems like they just, that all went to the wayside, and they're just looking at the 4K now. So yeah, I just think that, in the future, they better have better CPUs in these damn things.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to have better CPUs.
So Punk, let's hear from you, man. What's your take on the 2019 day in the PlayStation?
Well, first of all, it's ridiculous. Okay, so we didn't even get the X until the end of 2017. Might as well be 2018 if you ask me. So why would you even bring out a console a year later? That's a kick in the balls.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, Phil wants that power narrative, so they're not going to do that to their fan base. That'd be terrible, man. Like you said, wait for it to get cheaper. Let PlayStation do their thing, because they're going to sell consoles. Let them shine for a little bit. Let us do the year later thing, and let us blow up for once.
That'd be worse than the Kinect, right, Punk?
Oh dear God. But yeah, man. Like I said, a year later, technically, in my books, that's ridiculous. You can't do that.
I wouldn't buy one. Would you buy one next year?
And like I said, okay. And if we bought it just now for $500, how much is that going to cost next year? 700.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
So these mid-gen refreshes are a new thing. I mean, for the most part, you kind of had to know that what you were getting into. You would hope that they were going to have these consoles last for a long time, but they didn't, advertise them as a next-gen console, So if they do decide to be like, hey, we're going to, bring a console out in 2019, I still think the Xbox One X is going to be able to play whatever game that they're going to be putting out there for the foreseeable future. Like I said, I don't see 2019. I don't even see 2020 unless PlayStation, drops a console, because they still have room. Like I said, if PlayStation drops a console, they can react. They could say, "Hey, wait 6 months or wait a year."
The earliest is the end of 2020 for Microsoft. If they do drop one, the PS5 in early 2020 or late 2019. But just to get back to what you were saying, though, Nate, it's not really that it's new with the mid-gen refreshes. We've always had mid-gen refreshes, but this is new with this real powerful refresh, this upgrade, basically.
Yeah.
And that, I think these iterative consoles, I think, are done. This is it. I think we won't see this shit again, because there's been way too much backlash from this shit.
Yeah,
I think they're done with this.
Yeah, so the PlayStation 4 Pro was created for VR, and if you want to try to argue that fact, it's a losing cause. So that's why they did their mid-gen, okay? Xbox, on the other hand, their mid-gen was because they got dumped on, right? They screwed up in the beginning. Yeah. So like Fonz was saying, I don't see this going forward. I don't see this happening again, period. So I think we're going to stick with the generations and hopefully we stay there. But, you know, if this situation happens like reverse, let's say PlayStation drops their console in 2019 and, you know, they don't have the frame rates, they might have to do a mid-gen to catch up with power. So I don't know. We'll see. Anybody else want to put any input on with this topic before we move on? Just holler at your boy. No? Okay.
I think we hammered it to the ground.
I just want to see. I just personally want to see more aesthetically pleasing, as far as like the limited edition consoles. I want to see a decent PS4. You know, aesthetically pleasing.
You don't like stickers?
Than the ones that are out there. No. No, those kind of mid-gen releases were fine. I mean, you had the Xbox 360 Elite, you had the Xbox 360 R2D2 version. Yeah. There's nothing graphically or performance-wise better. It was just aesthetics.
Yeah, but historically, they just do that to move consoles. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens. But moving on.
You didn't like the Vietnam edition World War II?
It was beautiful.
I mean,
oh, my God.
Who did they hire to make that, man?
Yeah. Like, it had nothing to do with World War II with that.
No.
No, it wasn't even around back then.
The camo was from like what, Vietnam or something?
Yeah, it was from much later, and it was like forced camo in World War II. You know, okay.
So yeah, that's a word of advice if you're someone that's designing those special edition consoles. Do your research.
Do your homework first.
So moving on to the next subject or topic at hand, Digital Foundry. You guys know who they are, right? They're in the news for bad reasons. And I want to talk about this because this is a subject that comes up when it comes to, like we said, resolution, the narrative and the comparison videos. Digital Foundry got their name because of that. So anyway, 3-4 big things. They're the developer of Redout. So basically an analysis came out by Digital Foundry. And they just said that the Xbox One X version of the game ran poorly, and it ran extremely different than the PlayStation 4 Pro. And there was some extreme backlash. Okay, so these developers were so someone tweeted at them and said, "Your Xbox One X version is a sign of a lazy developer. Make it better." Hi, did you see the Digital Foundry's video? So we hope for the next patch. First, blah blah blah. So basically, they're getting tweeted at. As a developer, being called lazy because of an error on Digital Foundry's side. I just want to hear from you guys. Yeah. Did you guys hear this news? Yes. And do you think it's something that, okay, first of all, people are calling Digital Foundry liars and they're calling them clickbaiters. I don't want to go that route. I don't believe that's the case.
Nope.
I think they made a mistake and they pushed it. They pushed it too soon and they're getting extreme backlash.
They get a big L for this, though. They do get a big L. Because
I agree.
It was a mistake that really could have potentially cost this company some money. And honestly, if they get sued for this, it wouldn't surprise me. I know it's already been threatened, but Digital Foundry has already come back and said, no, we're going to relook. We're sorry. We made a mistake. We're going to relook at this Monday and put out another video. But the thing is, the one question I have is, how did they miss this the first time? Because they were talking about resolution and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, when something is near 4K compared to a 1080p resolution, you should be able to see that at a reasonable distance. There's no reason why that should have been missed, even by the naked eye. Put the machines aside. You should still be able to tell. I could fucking tell on my 4K TV when it's a 1080p source and a 4K source. Yeah, I could tell, and I sit 5 feet away.
Well, what makes it so bad, Fonz, is the casuals out there. They go to Digital Foundry and treat them like gospel, and these guys are supposed to be the experts that tell people who don't follow video games.
But again, Jago, they make mistakes too. They're humans too. But I don't think, just as Enrique said in the chat, I don't think no malice was meant here at all, because I don't believe in the media bias bullshit stuff. I don't. I just think that this situation. they take a big L on it because they could have potentially cost this company money. That's as far as I'll go.
They cost themselves cred. They cost this company potential money, and they could cost Microsoft potential sales for people that were all like hyped for this game. Or, you know what I'm saying? It made the X look bad, and that's what really just irked me with Digital Foundry.
I just think that it comes down to we might need a competition when it comes to Digital Foundry, because they're like the end all be all when it comes to like comparisons of video games and, you know, all that other stuff. Because let's be honest, I feel like Digital Foundry, I think Microsoft left it up to them to kind of do some marketing for the X, like with all these comparisons.
They
sent them that box.
They lose credibility, and people are going to question, you know, their stuff going forward.
Awesome point, brother. That's an awesome point, because if you think about it this way, all these dudes like talking mess and stuff about Digital Foundry right now with this situation, all they have to do is look at the rest of their videos where they talked up every Xbox One X game, and they basically showed that they just, you know, were so much better than the Pro version. So I mean, they make a mistake. It happens, and move on. You know,
the whole bias narrative, it just doesn't fly. What it comes down to is they're a business. Okay, they're on YouTube. They make money off these videos. Okay, what I talked about is, okay, so in the beginning of the generation, you know, the bigger install base was with PlayStation. They were making their videos, they're getting clicks, it generates revenue. It's not bias. It's just it was a fact that they threw out there. They did these comparison videos, they get clicks. You know, Xbox One X comes out, it's the more powerful system. It doesn't have as big of install base, so it's not going to get as many views or clicks. But it's not a bias situation. They have the right to make whatever video they want, because I mean, it's their property, right? They can do what they want as long as it's factual. In this case, it wasn't factual. It wasn't because they're trying to make up a false narrative. Is because they were, you know, I wouldn't call them lazy, but they were trying to put a video out quick or whatever happened, you know? So it is what it is. You can choose whether or not you want to listen to Digital Foundry going forward, but that's your decision as a consumer, right?
Yeah.
But where?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, where else are you going to get your comparison videos?
You're not.
You know?
No, you won't. And one
thing
thing
a lot of people, they're not going to IGN or GameSpot anymore, because they pretty much those also now. Like you said, everyone wants to go to Digital Foundry for the better, you know, comparisons or whatever they're talking about. But
and
IGN, they're done. People are just tired of their opinions.
You got to remember too, Digital Foundry's YouTube. You know, their YouTube. They're still, you know, that's income for them. So. You know, you see how fast they do some of these reviews and tech analysis on games that had it. And sometimes, I mean, they say it's like, within it seems like 10 minutes, the game just came out the next day, and boom, it's out. And I think they just didn't do their homework. You know what I'm saying? They try to rush out a video for views.
Yeah, my only question, as someone who didn't watch the video, I didn't watch anything from Digital Foundry, just because I had read the whole thing, and I wanted to ask this question because I knew it was going to come up in topics all over the place whenever something like this happens. And my question is, as someone who didn't watch the video, was there anything discernible in the video that could have told you this is opinionated, or, oh no, this is an actual factual comparison between the two consoles? Or do you just automatically assume that it's all opinionated anyway?
Well, Native, it's not about opinion. You're showing pictures, right? I mean, it's
showing video, but the
you're
fact
looking at statistics, right?
But the videos they show aren't really conclusive, because you can't really tell over YouTube with all the compression and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you can't download source files if you're a member of their Patreon.
Yeah,
but you know who's doing that? I mean, I'm not.
Nobody.
But that's the thing. Like, you can't really tell at face value. Some people will swear over YouTube they can see all this stuff.
No, you can't.
Sure, you can tell little differences here and there, but when they're comparing the games side by side on Digital Foundry, it's not.
You can't tell. Yeah, no, I've watched many comparison videos, and I'm looking at them like, I don't see a damn difference, but I know that there is. But I'm going based off of what this person's actually saying.
What Native doesn't tell you is he's watching it in 360p at a 4K video. You know what I'm saying?
On a cell phone. On a cell phone, man.
He's like, I can't tell the difference.
Only time you can really tell the difference in the Digital Foundry video is when they zoom in like 400%. Or they got that frames per second counter up there where you can see whatever systems they're doing, having the most frame drops. You can't tell on a phone, which most people watch on a mobile device. Let's be honest.
And that's the thing. They're so good at doing what they do with the technical analysis and stuff that people treat their stuff as gospel. Let's be real, because they are good at doing that. But you know what? It's a mistake. And I bet you if you go back, they've made mistakes in the past before and apologize for it too. It's just this time it's because it fuels the console war and fuels, That's the only reason why it's got to rise out of some people.
Yeah. The toxicity levels are just off the charts right now.
Yeah, I mean the tiki torches are out and people are calling for blood, but people make mistakes. Everybody does, right? So
yeah, which raises my next question. This was just a quick question. How many of you guys have read out?
I mean, I didn't know about I didn't know about the game, right? That's a good point, right?
Right.
Never even heard of it.
Up in arms about something that majority of people aren't even playing. So it's I get the concept behind it.
Look at it this way, Native.
Still funny, man.
Bad press is good press, even if it's making the game look bad. Because who knew about Redout until Digital Foundry's video? I mean, really.
Exactly.
I mean, that much is true. But my the only thing I think is just what's bad is the developers of the game, like what they had to deal with, all the because of the mistake of somebody else, the backlash for them for no reason because somebody didn't do the research. That's what I think is just unfortunate because if you read the article, and the guy's quote, like the guy woke up in the morning and didn't expect to wake up to just absolute rain down of negative comments from both sides. You know what I mean? And so the fact that they had to deal with that and then come out with their own statement to kind of pretty much put the fire out, it's just unfortunate on that part.
I mean, you had Xbox dudes making videos about that Digital Foundry video saying that the developers of that game purposely did that because they're on Sony's side and stuff.
Exactly.
God.
So now you have that going back and forth. You know what I mean? And that's just unfortunate. And then they had to put those fires out. And that's what's unfortunate. Somebody didn't do their homework, and it made things harder on other people, and that's just the more of the story right there, pretty much for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's social media is brutal, right? It's like it's a ball rolling down the hill. It's a snowball. Once the snowball gets momentum, this toxic level of social media just hits.
It's a cesspool of toxicity, man.
Exactly.
It's not a snowball.
Exactly. So people don't care whether or not you did it or you didn't do it. They just want to hop on your back and give you shit about something that may have not been your fault. They don't care because they don't do research. It's not my fault. It's whatever, right? It's this day and age. People don't take responsibility and they just jump on people's backs, right?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm on Twitter, okay? And I've got a bunch of followers and I follow a bunch of people, and I hardly ever read the timeline, guys. I don't. If I like you, I'll go to your timeline and read what you're saying. But I don't read the timeline. So a lot of times I miss a lot of this toxicity. And great. But on the bad side is sometimes I miss the good stuff from you guys unless I go to your pages. But I tend to stay away from reading the timeline because of all the toxicity. I can't do it, man. There's just too much bullshit floating around out there. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I agree, Fawn.
I mean, so it is what it is, man. I guess we could sum it up to this. It's everybody's. I guess you need to figure out if you want to stick with Digital Foundry or not, right? I said there's not many options out there, and you can be a consumer. I mean, everybody gets their opinions, but it is what it is. I feel like they made a mistake and they owned up to it. I mean, if they're gonna have to pay in a court of law, that's up to a judge to figure out, right?
Yeah.
But
true.
It is what it is, and that's the last topic of the night. But I want to thank everybody for this awesome show. It's been great. Like I said before, I missed you guys. I missed doing this, man.
I did too, bro.
I missed you too.
I missed you guys.
Right, man.
Quit it.
You cry, dog.
No.
2 weeks is too long. Anyway, we have a little poll that we're going to conclude on, right? I did it, and it's going to be pretty quick, and then we'll do our outros. So I said, if you have a Nintendo Switch, how do you play it? Because I've gotten in this discussion / argument. I don't have one. Nick does. The options were majority docked, majority undocked, 50-50, and what's the Switch? And guess which one won? Spoil alert.
What's the Switch?
Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there that were trolling or whatever.
Come on, man. For real.
The question I have for you guys, just to conclude it, is do you define the Switch as a like more of a handheld or more of a console? I just want to know, because I think it's a glamorized handheld. I think it's marketed as a console just to kind of get the console benefits. But I know you can dock it, but I feel like a majority of the people I talk to use it as a handheld. So I want to hear from you guys. Let's start with Punk.
Yeah, I definitely use it as a handheld. Like you said, to me, it is a glorified handheld. It's fun. You can take it with you wherever you want to go. You know, road trip with your family, hang out with your friends, whatever. It's just, to me personally, it's better handheld. Have I used it docked? Yes. Because obviously you can also get 1080p from that, which is great. But for me, I definitely go handheld route.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Fonz, what do you think, bro?
Oh man, I use mine on the toilet, and I'm just kidding. I don't even have one.
You have a toilet or a
I've said this.
I wasn't going to go there.
I've said this forever, that it's a glorified handheld. You know, yes, I know that it's a console in, you know, respect to what everybody calls it out there, and you know, because you can dock it and stuff. But come on, ever since this thing was announced and shown, I was like, you know what? Get rid of the 3DS now. You have the Switch.
Yeah,
There's no reason for the 3DS.
Please.
You know, that ain't happening.
Oh man,
Nick,
don't get me
you're
started on
chomping
that.
at the bit, bro. What's up? What do you think? You have the Switch, right?
Of course I do.
Right?
I'm talking to the Nintendo dork of the group here, man.
Of course I do.
Guru, give me your thoughts, bro.
Nintendo Fury,
bro.
It is a hybrid. It's meant for them to do both. But I can tell you right now, me personally, when I play the Switch, unless I am intentionally going to capture gameplay, it is undocked half the time. It's undocked half the time because, one, it's very convenient. I can walk around with it. As Fawn says, if I want to take a dump, it's right there and for me to take a dump. If my wife's on the Xbox, you know what I mean? So it's very convenient. So for me, the majority of my time played on the Switch is handheld. But like I said, it is a hybrid. It's meant to do both. But you know that most of the people are going to play it handheld because it's just more convenient to take that thing off and play it wherever. If you need some peace and quiet, kids are running around driving you nuts, go ahead and play it in the closet and close the door. You know what I mean? So like yeah, I mean, it's a hybrid, and I will say that statement hybrid, but what do I use it more so for? It's more so handheld, more so than docked. But if I want to get game capture, then I dock it.
Awesome. Jago, I know you're not a big fan of the Switch, so
yeah, Jago.
He bought 4.
What's your vote, bro?
Yeah,
what's your vote?
Yeah, dude. It's just remember the commercial they put out. How many times do they have it docked in that commercial? They were marketing it as a go anywhere like console. It is a mobile console, man. It's a handheld. There's no, I mean, yes, you can dock it, but I guarantee you 90% of the people use it in handheld mode majority of the time. So yeah, I mean, it's a handheld, bro.
I like to play with my friends with big hands with the Joy-Cons.
Bro, don't get me started on Joy-Cons, bro.
So anyway, anybody else?
Yeah,
Did I miss anybody with the question, the poll? Everybody answered.
Yeah,
that was just
for the Switch.
Native.
If I could get a Switch, if I could afford a Switch right now, I would have a Switch. One thing that I remember from the Nintendo 64 era was that awesome little adapter that you can put into your controller, and then you can put the Game Boy games into that and play Pokemon on screen using the controller. I remember that, and that's just kind of what I think about. That's kind of how I think of that. It's just it can go both ways. I would more than likely play it as a handheld, just because I don't like being around people in public.
I like being around people.
Yeah, anything to get my attention away from everybody else. You know, it's funny because yesterday I had asked my wife. She was going out shopping. And I asked her, "Oh, do you want to take the headphones?" She goes, "No, that's rude." I was like, "What do you mean it's rude?" She goes, "To be shopping and have headphones in, that's kind of rude." And for me, it's like, not really. No, that's how I do any kind of shopping. I throw in headphones. Now, if I had headphones in with the Switch, it'd be the ultimate rudeness, and I'm all for it. So switch it out for me.
What does she think? That you have to talk to people about the beans you're buying or the rice?
Guess, I mean,
come on.
She's striking up combos. Hey,
what do you think
of the look, vegetables are on sale.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this Gouda cheese, man?
Vegetables on sale.
Hey, on the real though, I remember my first hybrid console back in the day, the Dreamcast with the VMUs and the mini.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were cool. I remember those.
This was done before Nintendo. You're not the first.
Booyah.
Nope.
Awesome. So that was the last topic. So we're gonna do our outros here, and then we'll get out. First person that's gonna do his outro is our special guest, Native. Thanks for being on the podcast. And where can people find you?
Well, thanks for having me, man. And shout out to everybody on the panel tonight: Punk, Nick, Jago, Fonz, and Salty. Thank you guys for having me and for putting up with my shenanigans tonight.
It was a blast, brother.
But I mean, you can find me all over Twitter. I'm damn near everywhere. I'm posting either something stupid as far as something I seen out in the street, or me commenting on something that has to do with like Salty said at the beginning. I'm a very, very, very sincere atheism / morality / religion debater. So if you guys ever want to talk anything about those things, always hit me up on Twitter at Irrelevant Native. It's an N8IVE. I'm on Xbox, the same exact thing. Irrelevant N8IVE. You can hit me up on Xbox at any time. I'm also a moderator for Morning Mixer with Roby1 Kenobi and Jez Corden. You can find me in there from 5:30 a.m. to whenever.
Damn.
So just pop in. I mean, it's some fun times. Yeah, dude, it's early in the morning. It's brutal,
I like
but it's good fun. And but yeah, no, you can catch me pretty much damn near everywhere. Just hit me up. I'm never unavailable to talk or whatever. Just thank you guys again for having me.
Awesome.
It's been a blast. It's been a blast.
Thank you, Jago. Where can people find you, bro?
I just want to say, man, it was a blast being back and had fun tonight. I was looking forward to it. You can find me on Xbox Live at Jago Kukin. You can find me on Twitter, the same name. I even got this tiny little YouTube channel that I've been trying to put some more stuff on at the same exact name. So, I mean, just hit me up, add me, whatever. Let's talk gaming or some game. Let's go. Appreciate it, Sophie.
Awesome. Thank you. Nick, where can people find you, man?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter, as I like to say, the Twitter. Handles Nick Fury, as you see it spelled here. YouTube channel is the same. As Salty has said before, I am the Nintendo guy of the podcast. So if you might be interested, which I know most of you probably aren't, but if you're interested in some Nintendo news, I'm the channel to go to, because that's what I'll be doing predominantly is Nintendo news. And then every once in a while, maybe a different video here and then, like my car vlog when I did about we're not getting into that. So stop by the channel, check it out, like a video, watch a video, subscribe, all that stuff. And as you know, I'm looking forward to 2018. It's good to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Punk, where can people find you?
On Twitter, man, Punkadish Gaming, and also on Xbox Live. Anybody who's played with me, I'm always open to play, man. Usually, again, pairing offline like most people do. Dirty J, he knows, man, I'm kind of a big deal, so that's why I'm always pairing offline. No, I'm kidding. Feel welcome. Feel welcome to message or something. I'm down to play.
Yeah, most definitely.
Awesome. So last but not least, Fonz, where can they find you?
They can find, of course, J Fonzarelli, both here on Twitter and here on YouTube and on Twitter. And check out Loot Chest Radio, guys. Sub to that channel. A little podcast that we do, me and Nate here, aka Mr. Salty. We do this podcast over there, so check that out. Enrique from Braps on there, all days on there. We have a great time, but I want to say something really quick about these guys, this panel here, and some of the guys in chat too. A lot of you out there. Honestly, guys, if you're hearing this, I'm talking to you. You guys are awesome people. I consider you guys friends. If I knew you guys in real life and like, we saw each other, I definitely have a beer with you and kick it with you guys. You guys are very cool people. I really appreciate it. A lot of you have reached out to me in like my time of need and everything, and when I've been down and stuff, and I appreciate you guys. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Appreciate that, Fonz. I feel the same way, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Likewise, man.
Awesome. So I guess it's time for me, Saltiest Gaming. Like I said before, I was on the Iron Lords podcast. You should definitely check them out.
It's a good show.
You know, they have the same mindset as
shout out to them for stopping by.
This group, yeah, everybody. I took the decision to move this podcast up an hour because I felt like it was going to be good for just everybody in general. So it's gonna it's a transition, right? I mean, there's some other podcasts going on or whatever, but we're doing our thing, and I think 2018 is going to be a great year for this podcast.
Yes, sir.
For Loot Chest Radio, in X Power, everything. I appreciate everybody that's in chat. The chat was awesome. That's why we do this. That's why I say that every video I do, we're passionate about gaming and we love to talk about it. That's the most important part. That's why we're here. So anyway, you can find me at this channel because you're already here. You can find me during the week. I do news stories. It's not limited to Xbox, but I do a lot of Xbox. But you can find other stories there. I plan on doing walkthroughs and game reviews as well. So stay tuned for that. Thinking about anything else that we might have forgot. Like I said, there's a super chat now. It's not pushed on you guys, but next time at a different podcast, if you want a specific question answer, you can hit that up. And I do have a PayPal as well. It will help the channel out, help it to grow. It's not pushed, but it's thankful for. I'm thankful for anything, right? It's appreciated.
Yep.
So anyway, that's going to do it for us. 2018 started off with a bang. The Saltiest Podcast. Comment and subscribe if I could talk. And as always,
I'm back, bro. We back. We back, man.
Can I end this with something? Can I end this with something salty now? Because I put some good out there in the world. Now I want to end it with some salt because of the name of the show. Anyway, Assassin's Creed Origins ending was ass. That game.
Oh my God.
Trash.